Welcome to part 2 of the Advanced Agile lessons. You will now learn about the different frameworks that could be used for a project. As a prerequisite, you will already have a basic understanding of Scrum, sprints, product backlogs, and retrospectives. If these are new to you, then learn the basics first in lessons 44 to 47 of the complete software tester course. See the link below. Agile is a dynamic approach to software development, offering various frameworks that share core principles but differ in structure and focus. Let's dive into some of the most widely used frameworks, and we'll start with Scrum. Scrum is a popular Agile framework that organizes work into fixed-length sprints, typically lasting 2 to 4 weeks. Key roles include the product owner, Scrum Master, and development team, each contributing to the sprint's success. Let's see an example. We'll start with a recap on the Scrum framework from the beginner's course. For a project of 12 weeks, there are estimated to be 4 sprints, each with a duration of 3 weeks. Every sprint will be preceded by a sprint planning session, and when any sprint is completed, there will be a retrospective. Finally, there is a product backlog containing all the planned project deliverables. This is usually a dynamic list, with some deliverables being added, whilst others are removed if they are no longer required. This is in keeping with the values and principles that encourage flexibility and change to make the deliverables relevant. The product backlog is managed and prioritized by a product owner, whilst the day-to-day deliverables are managed and implemented by the development team. The person holding all this together is a Scrum Master who coordinates the activities and brings people together on daily stand-up meetings. We will discuss the team structure and responsibilities in part 3 of these videos. In Scrum, essential artifacts like the product backlog, sprint backlog, and increment help manage and track progress. Regular events such as sprint planning, daily Scrum, and sprint retrospective ensure continuous improvement. Kanban is another Agile framework that uses a visual board to manage work items. It emphasizes continuous delivery and limits work in progress, focusing on improving flow and efficiency rather than adhering to fixed-length iterations. Let's look at a Kanban board and see how this is used to manage the sprints, product backlog, and sprint backlog throughout a project. A Kanban board can manage a sprint. When work packages are moved from the product backlog to a sprint, they are listed in an appropriate column on the Kanban board. Before we do this, let's understand what the columns mean. The first column is labelled To Do. This means they will start at some point in this sprint. Then there's In Progress, which is self-explanatory when a work package is being actively worked on. Blocked means just that. There is an impediment, either stopping the work package from commencing or it was in progress and has stopped in its tracks. These are usually actively discussed as daily stand-ups so the Agile team can work together to get this work back on track. The final status is done, which means just that, and this will be added to the product increment, which was not discussed in the beginner's course. Basically, the increment is a work item that is the sum of all completed product backlog items during a sprint, combined with the value of increments delivered in previous sprints. The key aspects of a sprint increment are: firstly, the deliverable is potentially shippable and can be delivered to stakeholders. It meets the Agile team's agreed definition of done, which is quite similar on most projects. It adds value to the project, like new features or agreed fixes. And finally, it is inspectable. You would normally discuss increments in a retrospective so stakeholders can be made aware of potential deliverables for this sprint and how they build on previous sprints. Kanban boards can be flexible in their format, so if these statuses don't work for you, then make your own. Okay, now let's move some work packages from the product backlog into Sprint 1 and place them in the most appropriate column. There are 4 work packages where work can start and 4 that are waiting in the To-Do column. There could be many reasons for this. For example, the Coding 1 work package is dependent on the design, one work package to be completed before it can be started. Also, Design 3 cannot start until Design 1 is completed because the same person is doing both tasks. Armed with this information, let's move to day 5 and see what's changed. Here we are on day 5. One of the design work packages is now completed. and gets moved to the Done column. And one of the coding work packages can then be moved to the In Progress column. There is also one blocked work package as the business end user was not available to help due to other business commitments. However, at the daily Scrum, a commitment was made by the business to provide another resource immediately, so let's move that one back to In Progress. This process is followed throughout the sprint. Let's take another look at the Scrum framework again to see how the product backlog is emptied and increments increase steadily. On day 1, there were 8 work packages moved to Sprint 1 and all of them were done. As we move through the sprints, we can see how the product backlog gets smaller as the number of increments increases. Next, there was Sprint 2, where 4 additional design work packages were delivered. The initial set of test cases were written and the last server was successfully commissioned, so another 6 work packages were delivered, making a total increment value of 14. On the Sprint 3 planning session, the product owner added 2 more work packages to the product backlog and prioritized them in Sprint 3 above all other work. These were 2 simple reports that could be completed by developers very quickly and deliver huge benefits to customers. In addition to this, the first 2 set of test execution tasks could be completed and the last of the test cases written. So Sprint 3 effectively added 5 new work packages to the incremental total. The 3 outstanding tasks were all mopped up on Sprint 4, effectively giving an increment score of 22. As you can see, there was continuous delivery of work packages throughout the project. That's it for Kanban. Now let's look at the next Agile framework, Extreme Programming. The Extreme Programming, or XP Agile framework, is a software development methodology designed to improve software quality and responsiveness to changing customer requirements. XP highlights technical practices like test-driven development, pair programming, and continuous integration. This framework aims for high-quality software through frequent small releases, ensuring robust and reliable outcomes. Let's discuss the core values and practices of XP in a bit more detail. The core values at the heart of XP are communication. Encourage constant communication between all team members, including customers, developers, and testers. Simplicity. Focuses on delivering the simplest working solution, avoiding unnecessary complexity. Feedback. Promotes frequent feedback loops from the customer and through testing to quickly identify and address issues. Courage. This encourages taking necessary risks, such as refactoring code or changing course based on new feedback. Respect. Fosters a culture of mutual respect among all team members, including colleagues and customers. Now let's look at the key practices required to make this method work. There are 9 key practices at the heart of XP, so get ready with your pen and paper. First, test-driven development, or TDD. Developers will write tests before writing the code to ensure that new functionality meets specified requirements. Pair programming. This is where 2 developers work together at one workstation. One writes code while the other reviews each line, ensuring code quality and knowledge sharing. Continuous integration. Developers integrate and test code frequently, several times a day, to detect errors quickly. Refactoring. This involves constantly improving the existing codebase without changing its external behavior to ensure code remains simple and maintainable. Small releases. Delivering working software in small, frequent iterations to gain quick feedback and improve adaptability. There's only 4 left now, so bear with me. Collective code ownership. All team members share responsibility for the code, which encourages collaboration and high code quality. Simple design. Ensures that the system is as simple as possible, meeting the requirements without unnecessary complexity. On-site customer. An actual customer, or their representative, is part of the team, providing real-time feedback and clarifying requirements. No excessive hours, 40 hours or less per week. This encourages a sustainable pace and work-life balance, avoiding burnout, and maintaining productivity over time. Let's look at the advantages and challenges of following this approach. There are definitely some advantages of following the XP framework. You ensure a quick adaptation to changing customer requirements. Continuous feedback ensures quality and customer satisfaction. Strong emphasis on code quality through practices like TDD and refactoring. XP benefits when you promote collaboration, teamwork, and knowledge sharing. As you can imagine, trying to follow this approach may have some challenges, so let's examine what they are. XP requires high levels of discipline and commitment from the team, and all team members must embrace the process. It's not suitable for every team or project, especially those resistant to frequent changes. XP usually requires significant customer involvement, which isn't always feasible, and any assigned customer must be fully committed. This is sometimes a deal breaker for this approach. In summary, extreme programming works best in environments with rapidly changing requirements and emphasizes technical excellence, continuous feedback, and close collaboration with all team members to deliver high-quality software. The final Agile framework to look at today is lean software development, which is all about optimizing efficiency by eliminating waste. It emphasizes principles such as build quality in and deliver as fast as possible, striving for streamlined processes and high-quality results. In practice, lean software development is applied by identifying and eliminating waste. For example, eliminating unnecessary features or delays, and focusing on delivering work packages that add customer value. This can be achieved by teams prioritizing high-impact work, ensuring fast feedback loops, and continuously improving processes. You've already seen some of the lean practices that can be applied earlier in this video. For example, using Kanban boards helps to visualize the workflow and manage tasks, and limit the work in progress to maintain efficiency. Automated testing can also help with quality and speed if there are skilled members who know how and when to use them. There's one other Agile framework to be aware of, and it's called SAFe, which is Scaled Agile Framework. It's designed for scaling Agile practices across large organizations and integrates Agile at multiple levels. This will also include roles like the release train engineer for effective program management. This is something more appropriate for Scrum Masters and project managers to learn. As testers, for now at least, it's enough to be aware that it exists. You should now understand how the most popular Agile frameworks operate, and each one offers unique benefits and can be tailored to fit different team sizes and project requirements. Understanding these frameworks helps teams choose the best approach for their specific needs and goals. Thank you for joining us on the journey through popular Agile frameworks. In the next video, Agile Part 3, which is the final lesson, you can learn about some of the Agile practices and tools used, such as user stories, daily stand-ups, and some tools that we can recommend, like Jira. We will also cover the structure of an Agile team and describe the roles and responsibilities. For more testing insights, use the link below this video. There's lots of useful lessons there, and please subscribe to the channel. It helps us to create more free content. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button for me before you go. Keep testing and improving.